Hi, welcome to toddfun.com, and this week I'm going to do a product review on this quick charge cordless soldering station iron kit. Company contacted me by the name of Syringe, and they said, hey, we'd like to send you a product for review. And I was quite tickled because I'd already had this product on my Christmas list. They had already sent it out to bigclivedotcom, who's a vlogger, as well as mjlorton, who's a vlogger. They're huge popular sites. I'll link to their review of this product because it's their review that made me inspired to want this for my Christmas list. But now I have one. They contacted me, so why do I want one? I know it's good, and I'm going to link to their reviews so that you can watch theirs because they do really good testing and really good reviews. And they're not that long, and Big Clive even modifies his, and I think I got a mod in for this one too, in mind at least. So I want it for pinball repair, as I want to be wireless. I don't want to have a cord when I'm doing pinball machine repairs, and having a soldering iron on a cord when you're dealing underneath a pinball machine it's not easy. You can do it. It's doable, but you're always fighting that cord in and out of everything, and this will solve that. And from the reviews I've already seen, this is going to have no problem doing those types of repairs. Also, I do vehicle repair, and so if you work on cars and stuff, having this around 10 seconds and you have a 40-watt soldering iron right there, it's going to do anything on your car that you need to do. It's got plenty of the wattage to do that. You can do about 100 solder joints with this, and if you put it back in the cradle when you're not using it, it'll charge right up. We'll talk about those features too, even though some of that was covered on the other reviews. I do recommend you go see those other reviews. They're good. So yeah, if your car repair, that's what I want to have over there. I used to have a cordless butane soldering iron, and it was fiddly to start, it's fiddly to keep it going, and it worked, but after like a decade of it doing its thing, it died, and I just didn't want another one. Not especially, something like that would be a better solution anyway. And so I am very glad that I have this now. So let's go to the bench and let's take a look at the box and open it up, and then we'll charge it up. So this is made by Isotip, and it is the quick charger, rechargeable. It says it uses nickel cadmium batteries. It's going to be I believe about a 2.4 volts when fully charged. It's got isolated ceramic tip. Well, it's battery operated, so yeah. Charges in about 4 hours. We'll do a quick charge in about 1 or 2 hours. They say 25 watt power rating, but Big Clive actually did a full-on measurement of this thing, and it came out to about a 40 watt iron. And they say 125 solder joints at about 900 degrees Fahrenheit. That was pretty much confirmed by mjlorton. And it takes about 10 seconds to heat up. So those are the features. This is modeled the 770. They have other models, but I like for pretty much all use, this is the one you're going to want. The other features on the other ones didn't really seem to be that appealing for the price and or for what they were going to do. This is just the right size and shape. Comes with two different tips, a 1/16 millimeter and then a 3/16, the inches. One's a heavy duty, one's a fine. These are the standard ones, and then these are high efficiency ones. That basically means that they'll heat up faster, and you get a few more. You get a few more solder joints out of it, I guess. They're being a bit tongue-in-cheek with their box here, and so they're having fun with their box. That's nice, right? It's got automotive repairs. The easy to handle size makes it simple to free stuck parts. Well, I've never used a soldering iron to free a stuck part before, so I don't know what that means, but there's a tree on the car. Okay, whatever. Jewelry, and then for do-it-yourselfers, multiple safety features allow you to do it yourself. And they show an actual like half-inch pipe leaking. Well, you're not. I think they're just being funny. Seriously, they're being funny because you're not going to solder up a pipe with a soldering iron of any kind like this. I don't quite get this. I'm a pretty observant person, and it says, I hope you can read that. I don't know if the lighting is real good. But it's got smart human trivia, answers 1971. But there's no question. I've looked over this box fairly carefully, and I have not seen a question that warrants an answer of any kind. But maybe they came out with this in 1971, and they captured 90% of the market, and then must be the designer's name must be that, or the company or something. This is 100% made in the United States of America. That's nice, right? That's cool. It's made in Altoona, Wisconsin. So yeah, they even give you contact information. They got the website is iso-tip.com. Maybe this is the question. Oh yeah, okay, so here's the question. Never mind. Dear smart human. Yeah, they are being fun with their box, aren't they? Thank you for purchasing the quick charge. Much appreciated, ISO-tip. P.S. Happy soldering. Well, thank you. Smart human trivia question. When was the world's first cordless rechargeable station iron produced? Blah, blah, blah. See bottom of box. Okay, so that makes sense. And then, of course, the answer's down there. Okay, I guess I should have opened it up and read. There's a little message there, too. This is interesting. Making things is part of being human. Be a smart human. Okay, well, yeah, I'm a maker, hacker dude, I guess. I can appreciate that. Oh, okay. So we got the two tips. This looks like the heavy-duty one, and this one is the fine. They're just in there, and here's the stuff. So we'll go ahead and pull that out. Okay, so there's that, and a little manual. Okay, I think we're done with the box unless there's anything on the bottom. No, there's stuff on the bottom. Okay, what do we got? Oh, okay. Any problem can be solved with a little ingenuity. MacGyver. Really? Did MacGyver actually say that? Well, jeepers, I've never seen someone having so much fun with their box. I mean, normally it's just unreadable garbage that's meaningless fluff. And no, this was actually fun. So you can entertain yourself with the box before you even get to the prize. Yeah, so you can leave the soldering, you leave it in the station all the time. It will never overcharge. Okay, so you just leave it in there all the time and it'll never overcharge. Yeah, but you're going to have to cycle the batteries because they're nickel-cad every month and recharge them. Okay, that's not a problem. I'd probably just buy new batteries when they go dead, though. Tin the tip. So we want to make sure we tin our tips before we start using them, and then when we're done using them, we'll tin them again. So that's a good tip. Yeah, it feels okay. It's got a paper bottom, and that's the company that contacted me, Senesis, and it's UL listed. It's paper, but you know it's good injected plastic, and I heard this doesn't cradle very well. So let's see. No, it doesn't cradle so well. But you know it's heavy. I mean it's hefty. It's not a lightweight thing. It's got some weight to it. So it sits in the cradle even though it doesn't firmly latch in or nothing. It kind of wobbles around. It's got the prongs down in there, and it's got those prongs there, and they're just gonna kind of sit on each other. So if it's plugged in, it's gonna charge, and then it won't overcharge. It'll just cap out the nickel cad in here, and then that'll be the end of that. Very comfortable, I must say. So there's a lock feature and a use feature. So if you can go into the lock, and then the button will, it's basically, that's just for portability, but if you have it in your cradle, I would just leave it in the use feature. Let's go ahead and charge it up and then continue. Okay, we're back. Everything's charged up good. It does take about 4 hours. I'm not going to review this too much because Big Clive tore this thing completely apart and really did an amazing job about the features of this thing. He even made it so that there was an indicator light showing that it was charging. As well as he converted his to USB charging, so he doesn't even use, he takes the transformer out of here and he converts it over to USB charging, and then he just leaves it plugged in that way. So that's a good feature. I'm not going to do that, but I will probably add a light to it so I know that it is on, not charging per se, but on. I'd like to know when my stuff is on so I know to unplug it. So on to the product. Making sure that you don't touch the button, so we'll put it in the lock button. I don't want to burn myself. No, I didn't burn myself. That's something else. But so you got to put them in at an angle like that, and then as you're coming up at an angle, you shove back. And then these spring contacts, they hold that tip in there really good. And if you're not changing them out often, then they recommend unscrewing these and taking these little copper tabs off, and then just screw these terminals right in solid so that it can't come in or out, and you get better contact then. But if they're constantly working properly, I'm fine with it being like that, because the current's going to go up through there and heat that tip. As long as you're making contact here, you're fine. Now it does have a light on it. If you take a look at it, it's just a bayonet. It's exactly the same thing that's in a pinball machine, except for these are 2.2 volts DC, whereas pinball machines are I think they're 6.2, but they're AC. So why I bring that up is because I don't really like the bulb that much. It does light your surface. It does work, but if you look at it, good lighting. The way they manufacture the tip, because it's a lens, it's actually a lens in there, and it's sort of like a made-in-place lens. And based on how well that centers, and how well the tungsten filament centers, and how well it centers in here, it controls how it throws light. And because of the lensing, it throws a small beam. Okay, it also makes it complicated. You had to put it in different, either this way or turn it and put it in the other way to try and get the best projection of light. But it's not directable or anything like that. It does work. It's fine. It draws 260 milliamps. Okay, but one of these bendies for pinball repair, they substitute the pinball AC bulbs with these LEDs because they convert it to essentially to DC using a small circuit on the back. That's hard to see. And then this actually will run on the AC system. But the thing is the bayonets are the same. That's what's important. And the fact that if they had something like this, then when that was in there, you could see how easy that would be to direct the light, and you could throw a lot more light. But that's the mod I had in mind. I'll cover that later. I know that I can make it work because I've already done the circuit math on it. But the thing is, this isn't even going to light unless you're at like 2.7 to 2.5 volts once I do the mod. And unfortunately, this is going to go down in voltage a little bit, and then this is going to turn off. So there's probably no good way, without creating a constant current circuit that stuffs in here, there's probably no good way to just quickly mod this. So that's the mod. Well, this is the first time use. You always want to tin a new tip so they stay good. So 10 seconds. Got to go to the use, turn the button, press and count to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh yeah, it took 10 seconds, all right. And it's taking solder quite quickly. Heavy gauge hookup wire here. I got it ready, and this is what I'll be doing on pinball as well as automotive. That's what this is going to be go to. I like the fact that it sits like this. It's really nice. I'm worried that there's no tip cover for it though, and the fact that I guess I could set it in its cradle when I'm not using it, and then plus it'll charge. I guess it's kind of out of the way, but having that hot tip, I'm used to tips being in something. So this is my Heiko stand, and so if a guy wanted to, you could do that. You know, just get your Heiko stand out or whatever if you really want to have a stand around. It sits fine, but you got the hot tip, so it'd be nicer to just drop it in like that. You know, wouldn't it be nice if they had that design where the charging was on the sides and the station, rather than this upright thing, which is kind of silly, have it like this and have the charging on the side. Not only do you get to put it someplace where you're protecting the tip and charging it because the contact's on the side, and a place to put your sponge. I mean, why break rule with that? I mean, that's old. That's ancient. So, and they're not going to redesign this, but if they decide to make something even better, I mean, this is it fits great. I like it. It feels comfortable. But if they're going to do any redesigns, that would be one. Changing this LED, which I didn't put back in, changing it to being an LED that's directable, you know, so that you can move it and point it and get a big blast of light without any expensive current draw. That'd be another one. Why not? You know, they're probably going to. This has been around for 30 years, but a simple redesign, and I don't think that would affect anything. It'd make the product even more powerful. But, oh well, you're making money, right? That's not the smartest way to splice two wires, but you get the gist. That's kind of how I do it when I'm working on cars. I got my fine wire that I normally use for my electronics, but I'm going to try a little bigger stuff because this is a bigger joint. This is what I would use if I was on a car. So I'll hold it down and go 1, 2, 3, about 10 seconds. And you always kind of want to start heating up your joint first. And then a little bit, just a little dab of solder just to get the heat transfer going into the copper is good. But then once you get the heat flowing into the copper, then it should suck it right into the copper, at least a regular soldering iron would. This isn't really the biggest tip. I really should be using the bigger tip. You know, that's stupid of me. Why am I using the little tip on the big wire? But hell's bells, it doesn't matter. Look at that. Wow. Okay. The box has another tip in it. I'm so used to putting this someplace. I'm just not used to setting something hot on my table. I'll use the bigger stuff again. We'll transfer a little heat in there first. Yeah, that is amazing. That does a really good job for something that's portable, and you just want to grab something quick, hold the button for a few seconds, and solder something remote. That's slick. I like that. But just a little light pressure, and when that light comes on, that tip is burning up. And so, even though you can push harder and actually really get, you know, firm down, you don't have to. Just a real light touch, and it starts to heat up. So really, no, don't fight the button. So there's the pinball machine. It's got the deck up, and you normally got to get underneath there and do some work once in a while. And we'll go ahead and scroll over. Boom, that's the end of my travel for that. Okay, so normally you're down inside and you have either one of those fire sticks, or in this case my solder station, and you put it down inside. And if you could look in here, you would see that, well, let me turn the lens around. You'll notice there's a service port right down here, so you can technically plug it in and then turn on your soldering iron, and voila, it starts heating. But now you got to have it plugged in so it's not isolated. That would, you know, you don't want, your machine should still be off, but still you have a plugged in station with 120 mains with all the cords. Your machine has to be plugged in order to even use the service plug that's inside all pinball machines. And then, even then, when you're done, if you're not doing any soldering down here, that's all in your way. But if you're up here, you got this cord getting tangled up and stuff, and back in there. So that's why I had the idea of a cordless, because you don't want all that stuff. So let's get rid of all that. So I'm just going to show reworking that bayonet bulb as a proof of concept of using the cordless, so I can get in there and get a hold of my wire. Yeah, it quickly puddles actually. There we go. So that was nothing. I'm going to clean it up a little bit with a little solder braid. So now I'm going to use a bit of no clean flux. You don't have to do that. There's the flux core, or the resin core solders, but a little drop of this and it will really make a much cleaner joint. Been smart and stuck my wire in first. Count a couple seconds. No cords. Look at me. No strings attached. It's melting the flux real nice. There. Shows up real good. Nice, shiny, clean connection. Heated that joint up without a problem. The flux made it real clean. I would have to say
that was a very easy thing to do with such a thing. I'm impressed. I'm gonna much more enjoy working on my pinball machine when I know I can just grab this thing and just get right under there, hit a joint, fix something, and I'm done. That's sweet. I love this thing already.
Well, that's my review of the ISO Tip 7700. Really nice, very portable. If it only does 50 joints, I'd be happy. Let alone 120. That's amazing. And if you get the high efficiency tips, you can go up to like 180. And plus, those high efficiency tips will heat faster too, even faster than this. Plenty fast, but that's even faster. So get those other tips for that too. I love it. It's great. It's exactly what I wanted. In fact, you know, my viewers that are auto repair, my viewers that are pinball repair, special. Nice. Keep it in the cradle, keep it charged. It's a good thing. It's always there for you. Electronics, well, you're at a bench, probably no big deal. But really, you know, a lot of times I come out to my bench just to fix one little stupid broken thing, and I would reach for this first and pull this up, and with this fine tip on it, you know, it's easy to change the tips. Probably the easiest iron I've ever had for changing tips, almost. And then a quick soldered, and I fixed my little project, and I don't have to warm up my big iron. I don't have to wait, and I'm done. I don't have to worry about leaving it on because you never turn it off. Technically, it never heats unless you got the button down, and it's just in the cradle charging all the time. So, super. If you like it, thumbs up, and I'll have a link to this in my Amazon store. That'll be in the notes as well. That supports my channel. It doesn't cost you anything, and I get a couple cents for every one that's sold. But appreciate you joining. It's a great item. See you next time.